One of the first things after you get your land is to figure out how to get into it. So today we're going to be talking about the 3 steps you need to do to create your own gravel driveway and how much everything's going to cost. Okay, so land comes in many shapes, sizes, and different characteristics, one of which is a driveway. Some land you get will include a driveway already kind of roughed in. Roughed in driveways basically means that it's kind of cleared out, it's just kind of dirt road, some kind of general entryway that you can see going in. But some land don't have a roughed in driveway at all. So today we'll be talking about generally if it doesn't have a driveway, what you need to do to create one so you can get into it and provide a pathway to the building site for your future build. So step number 1 is to clear out the trees. So one of the first things you may consider doing is to hire a professional to clear out the trees to help create the driveway. Depending on your scope of work, you may just need a few guys with chainsaws and a truck. For us though, we needed an excavator because we had some pretty big trees and some pretty big stumps that were in the way. When clearing out trees, it does disrupt the land quite a bit. So be very selective of what trees you want to keep and what you don't. Obviously, it's very easy to remove a tree, but very, very hard to grow one. And one thing you should consider when clearing out trees is what to do with the stumps. So one tip I can share with you is our tree guy helped us dig a really, really big hole. Because we needed dirt and fill to begin with. Our land is very rocky, it's up in the mountains. So we needed to dig a really big hole and we buried all the stumps in there and then covered up with more dirt. And what happens is that becomes a space that over time just kind of disintegrates and you don't have to pay for hauling out all those stumps. The side benefit is all the dirt you removed you can use as topsoil. While you're clearing out for the driveway, you should consider clearing out any kind of space for your future build site so you don't have to do it twice, you can do it all at once. Step number 2 is to install a culvert pipe. So a culvert pipe is basically a big drainage pipe that you put across the entrance of your driveway to help divert water so the water doesn't mess up your driveway. A culvert pipe is kind of optional for some cases, but in most cases it's a smart idea to invest in it. That way you don't have to invest in more money trying to fix your driveway. For us, we had a ditch that directed water down the road. But even with that ditch, we found pools of water here and there, and that created very muddy conditions. And you basically just don't want settling water for lots of reasons, including mud, insects. It might slowly deteriorate your driveway. So it's good to push water away as efficiently as possible. So a gravel driveway typically consists of 3 layers. The first layer is the soil, the foundation. The second layer is a stone layer that basically consists of bigger stones. We use number 2 stone, which is a size of like 2 inches or more. And this kind of stone kind of helps interlock together when they're compressed together. So it creates a nice kind of strong foundation that still allows water to go through. So the third layer is going to be some smaller stones. And we use number 53 stone, which is the size of a quarter, and some dust too. And this helps fill in all the gaps. After you apply all those layers together, you compact it down, maybe some rain, or just over time, eventually that's going to be all compressed together to create a firm foundation for your driveway. One important note as you're doing this is you want to make sure you create a crown on your driveway. And what a crown is basically a kind of a sloping design that helps push the water to the left and right so it can be properly drained. The guy who did my driveway and my clearing explained this really well to me, and I recorded this on video, so I'm going to share this with you now.
Topsoil. Once this topsoil is gone, we're going to strip it on the outside edges, which will be these shoulders on both sides. Then we're going to bring in hard material, hard pan, to allow a decent base.
Right.
Once this foot, this is only 12 inches, once that foot is built up, then we're bringing in gravel from here to here. That gives you your crown of your driveway. So this layer is just a foot of clean stuff right across the top.
Okay, once you have those 3 layers compacted down and you have a crown shape, you have a ditch on this side, you're basically done. You have a gravel driveway. A little optional point I'll add in here is, in some cases, it's important to add some Geotex Fabric. And what that really does is basically it's a long piece of cloth type fabric that allows water to penetrate. And this helps create a firmer foundation for your stones to settle in. Without it, in some cases, if your soil is very soft, even with compacted stones, it will start to push into the soil. In my case, I didn't have to do it because my land is up in the mountains and we have lots of rock and it's very shelly. There's a lot of like just really strong rock underneath the soil. So we decided to save some money and not go with a Geotex fabric. And so far, after a year, it's been totally fine. I've included a link on the bottom to give you an example of how much they cost. Okay, so here's the juicy part. How much does everything cost? So here's my cost breakdown for my experience. Now, yours can be very different, but this is what I had to pay here in upstate New York. Step number one, the tree clearing cost us about $14,000. Now, keep in mind, I have a almost 400-foot long driveway, and this price includes clearing a lot of trees in the back for our tiny home and also clear out the trees for our build site. But I would estimate to do about a 100-foot driveway, you should probably expect about $3,000 to $5,000. But again, that could range widely depending on how many trees there are, how big they are, and whether or not you need any heavy equipment. Step number two, the culvert pipe cost us about $300 to $400 or so. Ours is almost 2 feet wide and it's really sturdy and basically going to last us a lifetime. Obviously, there'll be some labor involved to do this, but my tree clearing guy who did my driveway included this as part of the tree clearing. If you decide to go with the Geotex fabric or the Underlayment fabric, that could range from different prices, but expect to be about $200 or so or more, depending on how long of a driveway you have. Gravel. So gravel depends on the stone size as well, but in general, we paid about $350 for one full truckload. One full truckload is about 20 tons. When you add all this up, on average, you should expect to pay around $70 per 1 linear feet of your driveway. Your price will vary, but that's kind of what I'm seeing over here as of now. One last tip I want to throw in here is that you don't want to necessarily finish your driveway with all 3 layers until your house is completely done. Reason for that is because all the heavy equipment that's going to be coming in, it's going to just wreck your driveway. So you want to at least clear it out, create a firm foundation so then it's strong enough to support the heavy equipment and not dig into the driveway even more. And then at the very last step, when everything's done, all the heavy equipment is not needed anymore, then you can put on your top layer of stone and you'll be left with a very beautiful driveway to follow your very beautiful home. And that's it. Now you know what it takes to create your own gravel driveway and how much it costs. Please do like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Subscribing is going to be extra helpful as we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. If you know anybody that's interested in this kind of information, who's trying to build a cabin, buy land, things like that, please do share our channel with us. You can also find us on Instagram, where we are very active at myfirstcabin with underscores. And there you can pretty much see daily updates of what we're up to, the trips that we take to the land and the things that we're working on. So definitely go over there and give us a follow and as well. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.